You never, ever want to chase a man. Why? Because here's what will happen if you do. First, it'll be very easy for him to walk away from the relationship that you guys have. He'll feel like he's unsure about whether he even wants to be in the relationship or not. He'll be confused. He'll be flaky. He'll avoid the conversation. He'll start to become really lazy and he won't really want to do anything. He'll take you for granted. He'll make you do all the work and he'll be hard to work with and have conversations with and to get him to do just about anything in the relationship, for the relationship, or for you. Instead, you want him to chase you. If you end up chasing him, here's what will happen with you is you'll start to fall in love. You'll start to become attached to him. You'll start to feel like you really value him a lot in your life, and he won't feel the same for you. And that's why you want him to chase you first. And really, what this all boils down to is investment. So how do you know whether you're chasing a man or not? That's what I'm going to be talking about here today. Hello, my name is Matthew Coast, and welcome to Commitment Connection. So let's jump in. I have 7 different ways, 7 signs that you're chasing a man and what you should be doing instead. So sign number 1 is that you initiate most or all of the conversations. So whether you're calling or texting or you're video chatting or you're sending smoke signals or you both have 2 cans and you're speaking through it, doesn't matter. You're the one who is initiating most of the contacts, more than 50% of the time, most of the time. And usually if you've gone over 50%, it turns into this downward spiral where you're initiating a lot more than 50% of the time. And so instead, my suggestion is that you never go above 50%. There are exceptions to the rule, right? Especially in committed relationships. But if you're not in a committed relationship, you definitely shouldn't initiate more than 50% of the time. There's some women, there's some coaches who say, oh, you should never initiate a conversation with anybody. That's just nonsense, and you shouldn't listen to that. You can definitely initiate conversations, especially if he has his energy moving towards you. He's initiating more than 50% of the time. You can initiate sometimes, right? I have a general rule. You want to be somewhere between 20 and 50%, but you don't ever want to go over 50%. Ideal is around 20. And if you go less than 20, he might think that you're not really interested in him and then disappear or ghost you because he thought you didn't really like him. And so you want to be in the middle there, right? The magic is in the middle, and you want to have somewhere between 20 and 50% of the time. And the rest of the time, you want him to be initiating the contact. All right, sign number 2 is that you have to work to push the conversation forward. So you feel like it's pulling teeth in order to get him to talk about anything. You fill up the space with you talking in order for there to be a conversation about anything. You're like, hey, I want to have some kind of conversation. I don't like this space, right? A lot of times women will do this thing where they stop talking because they're angry at a guy, and they don't realize that a lot of times guys actually like it when they're doing that. And that's why instead what you want to do is start learning to become okay with silences, especially if you're the one that's always pushing things forward. What you want to do is give him more space to talk, give him more space to have conversations. And if he's not having those conversations, just learn to just chill and feel connected to the moment and feel connected to yourself and to your body. If you need something to do, say things to yourself. I have a whole bunch of affirmations in the Forever Woman program. You can say those to yourself, where you're just like, I am worthy. I am worth being chased. Men love me. Men are attracted to me. I am a beautiful goddess. Whatever things that you want to say to yourself, you can say those. If you want to feel just connected to your body and just feel the emotions in your body or the sensations in your body and just get connected to yourself, that's a really good time to do that. But either way, don't end up just filling up the space with conversation, because then you will be the one that's investing in him. So number 1 is you initiate most of the conversations. 2 is you have to work to push the conversation forward. Number 3 is you have to suggest dates, plan out what you'll end up doing, or ask him to go out in order for you guys to go out at all. And so if you don't plan stuff or suggest dates or ask him to go out, you guys just won't end up going out at all. And that is a really bad sign. You don't want to be in that situation. And so instead, what you want to do is use something that I call the scarcity principle. And basically what you're going to be doing for the scarcity principle is making it a requirement that he starts putting in some effort in order to spend time with you, right? What you're doing with the scarcity principle is raising your value in his eyes. And when he starts putting in effort in order to see you, he will start to value you more. And so you want to make it a requirement that he puts in time, effort, and energy in order to see you. And the way that you have to do that is first by changing your thoughts in your mind and start thinking of yourself, your time, your body, your energy, your effort, your presence as something that is valuable, and not only valuable, but actually sacred, right? Something that is really worth a lot, so that you know that he has to put in some effort in order to see you. He doesn't get to just spend time with you and connect with you and connect with your body and have physical intimacy with you if he's not willing to put in any effort with you. And that goes again with not another thing that you want to do is stop sleeping with him without going on some kind of date of some kind. Because when you just go and hang out together and hook up together, I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine. But just realize that he's not going to value you nearly as much as if he has to put in energy and effort in order to hang out with you and spend time with you. And that's what you want. Number 4 is he takes a lot longer to respond to your messages than you do to his. So when he sends you a text message, you respond to him right away. When he calls you, you call him right back, or you pick up the phone immediately. But when you text him, it's like it takes hours or days or maybe even weeks in order to respond to you. And again, you don't want to be in a situation like this. And so what you want to do is stop having conversations with him if he's not really engaged in the conversation. So don't, stop what you're, a lot of times what you're doing, right? Just do whatever it is that you're doing and spend time doing what you're doing, and don't make having him and connecting with him and responding to him a priority if he's not willing to make you a priority and talking to you and spending time with you and having conversations with you. And so basically, one of the ways to do this is to leave cliffhangers, right? And what you want to do is he asks you some question and you're like, we should talk about that. That's a great question for us to talk about when we meet up. And then just leave it at that, right? And so basically all you're doing is you're leaving a cliffhanger, and that's it. All right, so number 5 is you're constantly sharing details and things about your life. You're being open, you're being vulnerable, and he is not. So you're chasing him and you tell him everything. You're open to him, you're expressive, you're caring, you're thoughtful, you get really deep and emotional, and you're like, this is what my life is about. Let me tell you my woes and my greatness. And you're telling him all this stuff, and then when it's his turn, it's like crickets. There's crickets, right? You can hear the crickets outside. There's birds chirping, but he is not talking. He's not talking. And so what do you do? What do you do in situations like this? Here's what you do. You start getting a lot more curious about him. Ask him open-ended questions and ask him questions about his answers. And then instead of cutting him off or he's taking too long, so I'm going to say anything, you just sit there and wait for him to talk. And if you're not getting anything, you can always ask him what he's passionate about and find out what he's passionate about. Find out things that he really cares about, because there's something that everybody really cares about, even if they've given up on that thing that they care about. There's something out there that they really care about. And there's something out there that they're willing to talk a lot about. And you want to find out what that is so he can start investing from a conversational standpoint in you, because that's very important, as we'll talk about here in a minute. Number 6 is you feel exhausted from doing everything and he doesn't appreciate it at all. I know that sounds horrible, doesn't it? It's painful. It's painful. And there's so many people, so many women who get into this situation. And if you're in that situation, I'm sorry to hear that. It's very painful to be there. So you do much of everything, right? You do everything and it feels just absolutely exhausting because you're putting in all the work. And you deserve so much more than that. You deserve to be treated like you're important and special and a priority, and like a man feels like you're a gift to him, like you're a blessing in his life, like you're one of the most amazing, beautiful, sacred things that he's ever been able to be around in his life. That's what you should strive for. That's what you deserve. And so how do you get around this situation? What you want to do is mirror his interest level. And so mirror his investment, mirror, if he's giving you crumbs, you give him crumbs back. You just mirror what he's doing from an investment standpoint, how he gives to you, how he treats you, how much energy he puts in, how much work he puts in. You mirror that. Not to get revenge. I know a lot of women are like, get revenge on him, show him what it's like to feel that way. You don't want to come from a revenge standpoint, because if you come from a revenge standpoint, you're going to get into a circle of revenge, and then you're going to be getting revenge on each other, and then it's just going to spiral into a very painful breakup eventually, because you guys are both hating on each other, and that just doesn't work for a healthy relationship if that's actually what you want, which if you're here, my guess is that you want a healthy relationship. And so instead you want to do it because you are worth more than that. You are worth somebody who really invests his time and energy and attention into you, who makes you a priority. And so don't give to him if he's not willing to give to you, right? Don't give him everything if he's not willing to give you everything, which leads us to number 7. So number seven is you have to push the relationship forward. So you're the one pushing to meet his family. You're pushing to meet his friends. You're pushing to be exclusive. You're pushing to get a girlfriend-boyfriend label. You're pushing to be committed. And the truth is that he's really not committed, right? He's not really in it. He's not really fully there. He's not really about it. And the reality is that commitment only works when you're both really in it. And commitment is when you're both willing to do whatever it takes to make things work between the two of you. If you're not both willing to do whatever it takes in order to make things work, you're not in a committed relationship. You're in something, you're dating still, right? You're dating. Here's how the relationship timeline works. You date, and then you're committed. And everything between dating and committed is dating. And then once you're in commitment, that's when all the magic really, really happens. And so you don't want to commit to someone who isn't committed to you. The metaphor I have here is, don't jump into a pool if he hasn't even decided whether he wants to swim or not, right? Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to be in the pool swimming alone, and he's going to be up on the side, and he's going to be like, what are you doing? And you're going to be like, hey, I thought we were getting in and swimming. I thought we were swimming. It's so much fun, right? And he's going to be like, I don't even really want to get wet. I'm going to go over to this other party over here. See you later, right? And you're going to be like, I thought we were swimming, right? And so you don't want to commit to him because you're going to be committed. You're going to be doing everything. You're going to be chasing. You're going to be trying to make things work. And he doesn't even really care that much. But here's the thing with men. Most men will lean back and allow you to do everything, even if they're not all that interested in you or a relationship. Why would they do that? Because they're getting all of their needs met without having to put in any work. And so they don't value you, they don't treat you like a priority, and they don't give you what it is that you want and what you need. And you're doing everything, you're committed, you're falling in love, you think he's the one, you're attached to this guy. And all of a sudden you start to realize that he's not really in the game. And so you want to stop chasing men. Never chase men. A man should be chasing you until you're in a committed relationship. And then once you're in a committed relationship, you build the relationship together. That's how it works. Do not invest in men who do not invest in you. That is the bottom line. And if you follow that rule, you'll save yourself a lot of heartbreak and a lot of pain in your future,